Mr. 837,
Yes, sir.
can you give me examples of situations where trying to control emotions can lead to more pain and suffering?
That's a very, very, very good question. A very, very good question. Why it might lead to more pain and suffering, right?
Yes.
Let me put out a caution first, right? The loneliest people are the kindest. The saddest smile the brightest. The most damaged are the wisest. Another caution: listen to all your emotions, but don't blindly take orders from them. So, whatever that me and Director D spit out, right? This is like our own personal experiences, and by the end of the day, you, the viewers, are also like you have to apply them according to how you're going to feel things are going to work out for you. You know, so let's dive deep, and so I brought some pointers for you. So the first one is burying grief only plants seeds of deeper sorrow. Just like Dr. D earlier alluded, you know, when you're trying to sway away from the emotion of grief, I feel this is one of the toughest parts because I have been through there. I've been there before. And there was a moment I was in denial, you know, and I feel like sometimes it kind of puts you in a chokehold, you know, where you become toxic. There's this lovely series that Director D introduced me to, All American. You know, there's a part when Spencer lost his coach. You know, they were very close, and that briefing moment for him, it's like he couldn't accept it. He was in denial. So what ended up happening is he ended up destroying his current relationships, you know, because he never accepted what happened, you know. So I best believe, you know, trying to be in a sport where you also acknowledge the fact that, okay, this has happened to me, right? Address that there where you are, you know, just immerse yourself in there, accept the situation, be in the moment, and see, you know, emotional intelligence sometimes can be very tricky, you know, so you need to be very, very alert with the emotions that you're trying to pass through, you know. So I've seen people who have what they call delayed grief, you know, so it just comes at the worst time when you don't expect it. Imagine everybody else has moved on, right? You now tend to now go back in time, and now it just messes you up, and you become a person that everybody doesn't recognize anymore. You know, it's like you are resenting everybody. You know, you're pushing yourself from everybody. You're trying to lock yourself from the world, of which that shouldn't be the case. You know, so don't bury the grief. You know, the other part is suppressing anger today fuels tomorrow's explosions. So when you suppress the frustration that you have, right? I'll give an example. Let's say in a relationship, right, where you have probably an argument. Yeah, there are points when you're all mad, right? It's okay to just step back for a moment and let each and everybody have their own breather. Step back. Don't come and sway away from the problem. You know, I've seen and I've been in such situations where the other person just feels the part to say, we just move on, like nothing ever happened. It ends up being in a state where you start resenting the other person, you know? The resentment starts growing gradually. So I feel it's very important to be in a state whereby you also, you can take a moment, or both of you take a moment, you know, but when the time comes to speak, address the situation before you move on first. Address the situation. Whoever needs to say sorry, let them, you know, bend the knee. Let them bend the knee and take responsibility of whatever damage they caused. You know, I feel that way to help both individuals. So don't suppress your anger. Avoiding anxiety locks you in a smaller world. So I'm one person who has anxiety, right? I do have that. Even when doing this podcast or whatever that we're trying to do, sometimes I have that. But what helps me is being in a state where I have to breathe, I have to take in the moment, and I need to acknowledge that, okay, yes, this is happening, and I'm feeling this type of way, because it helps me associate with people, and it helps me do the things that I need to do. Because if I pay much attention to my emotions again, right, what's going to end up happening is that, one, I might not do the things that I have to do, right? And there are those people, again, who are anxious going out. I don't like too much crowds, so if I, again, bend the knee to that emotion, it will be a state where I will be like, I won't be in a space where I explore things, where I have to go out more and just interact with different people, or just meet you guys and, say one or two words to each other, because I'll be locking myself out, So I don't know the introvert, extrovert, I don't know the person who's in between what they're called, So yeah, the same one. Yes, the same one. Yes. So yeah, so it's very important to be in a state whereby you acknowledge that, and you don't try to let it overtake the things that you also have to do with your life. The other part is forced positivity is a prison built by denial. What this means is that, there are moments when something happens, right? Or you're feeling some certain type of way, but again, you're just trying to be positive throughout the whole thing, Sometimes that doesn't help. It feels like you're just faking it all the way. You're trying to fake it. There's the famous notion, fake it till you make it, right? Yeah. You might say for some it works, but it's not all the time. Because there's a point when now things catch up with you, right? Because you've been faking it all along. So now things catch up with you. What happens? Everything crumbles down to the floor, because the foundation you built was built on faking it till you make it. So it's very important to just allude the situation that you're currently in, and making sure that the positivity, it's okay to be positive, right? But again, being in a situation where you accept sometimes that things didn't go your way, just accept, like, it's okay. I feel like growing up in an African home, we haven't been taught that failure is also a good thing, because it teaches you certain types of things, right? It teaches you to accept and move on quickly. That I didn't do well. How can I do to improve that part, And like where you fail and you start feeling miserable because everybody's showing their success on social media, and you are in a space whereby you feel like a failure. So being in a space whereby you show that, okay, cool, I failed, like the man who did the light thing, failed 1,000 times. I should be 99,999 times, and the 1,000th time he succeeded. Imagine if it was you, man. From me, I would have given up. So yeah, so those are things that you need to really pay attention to. Then the last part is pushing away pain pulls you further from healing. So make sure, again, pay attention, right? Pay attention to the pain, pay attention to the emotion. That part helps you, right, to even be in a space whereby if you have healed genuinely, you will tell. There was a moment when I found it very hard speaking about the death of my mother, right? If somebody spoke, if they wanted us to speak about that, I'll be a mess, because I was in a point whereby I had not yet been in a space where I have healed from everything, but I would be, because I've been holding on to those things, right? Ask myself a question: how am I going to help somebody who has gone through this phase if I myself, I haven't healed yet? So healing is very important. Heal.